Nice to be here.
3 decades. Did you always want to go into fashion? Just thinking, when Paul Costello, the little boy, did you always want
the little boy was a very quiet little boy living in a big house in South County Dublin, and sort of just lived in the back garden most of the time, and very happy to do so. So it was sort of I had a creative ability that showed up through my entering the National Art exhibition and that sort of. But other than that, no, fashion wasn't my immediate career by any means.
I remember you telling me before that you had a very bad stammer.
Still do.
No, you don't.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it was sort of it sort of helped me out. I always think sometimes with a disadvantage you can take advantage, and by having this stammer, which I still use from time to time when I'm not getting enough of attention, it can come to your advantage because people will listen. They go, "Oh, the poor guy, he's going through hell," and so it's. But when I was very young in Willow Park, I'd have to stand up and say. Answer a question, and I just was speechless. So they would say, "Oh, sit down, Costello," and instead of getting 4 out of 10, I get 5 out of 10. And I was very happy to get that because I probably didn't know the answer anyway. So yeah. So play to your disadvantages. Sometimes it can work.
Happy childhood.
Very interesting childhood. Yeah, splendid. It was a very exciting having an American mother from New York and a father from Limerick. You can imagine the contrast in the cultures, and it produced a very interesting family of which I was the last and probably least, but still here.
You're famous, of course, for dressing Diana. Princess Diana. There's a very nice story. Tell me it, of when you went once with her and you brought, was it your son Gavin, who was a little boy at the time?
My son Gavin, who's now a lawyer in Dublin, in London, which is very interesting. I didn't even have a black cab. I was a mini cab with a black driver. And it was during the Troubles, when there was still a lot of bombs going off in Victoria, etc., and I drive up to Kensington Palace. And the policeman at the gate goes, "What do you want? What do you want?" And what's this? A black driver, an Irish, person.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, I've got an appointment with Princess Diana." So in I walk, and poor little Gavin's in the back of this mini cab, and we are allowed to go upstairs, which was lovely. And I'm greeted by Princess Diana. I have a nice cup of tea, a couple of scones and sandwiches. And I say, "This is great." And Gavin is stuck in the back behind the couch as I'm fitting these garments on Princess Diana, who's nearly as tall as me. She's about 5'10". Sorry, she was 5'10". And very, very elegant, and certainly not small in any way, neither in size or in personality. And then when I get back to our showroom in London, Gavin calls up my mother. She is my mother sometimes. She's so amazing. My wife, please. And from no, she looks after me too well to be a wife. And Gavin goes, "Hey, Mama, I saw him kissing Princess Diana. Isn't that terrible?" So it was and he was so young. He was only about 6 or 7.
Was she lovely, Diane?
She was, and she brought up those children exceptionally well. I had the pleasure of meeting William and
Harry.
Harry, thank you. When they were younger, a lot younger, and they were she brought them up so well, so natural, and the example is you see them today, and they do. Yeah. They do her so much pride because it's not thanks to Prince Charles. He had nothing to do with it. He was never in the building, and other than. Yeah, once again, it's the woman who rules. Yeah, the woman makes the child.
People used to always talk about the Diana effect, whether, she wore your clothes, which she did, and then they would become so big and people would buy them. Do you think Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, her daughter-in-law, do you think she has the same effect?
She's a very much performing to the rules and the regulations. She's a lovely girl. She comes from a very nice, simple family. Doesn't have the status of Diana Bausch and the breeding, but she's performing exactly as they want her to do, and I think she's lovely, and I think Orla Kiley has dressed her a number of times, and it's brilliant for Ireland. Is she the icon of Princess Diana? I don't think so.
Fair enough. You live in London. She won't see this anyway. Don't worry. If you want her to wear your clothes.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You live in London. You moved with
She's the girl next door.
Yeah. They can be lovely too, though.
There you are.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You live in London now.
Yeah.
Moved with Anne, your wife.
16 years.
Do you prefer living there than Dublin? Do you prefer the UK to Ireland?
Do I prefer? No. You can't compare London.
Okay.
From the point of view of London to Dublin, but it keeps me reasonably sharp about what I do. My association with Dunnes, the developing children's wear, men's wear, ladies wear, home wares. I was in Portugal this week looking at beautiful ceramics for next spring. So it keeps the creativity because all the shops are there, the John Lewis's, the House of Fraser's, the competition is there in abundance. So I know what is required. I get on my bike from Putney, cycle down the King's Road, cross in through Hyde Park, and arrive in my little tiny studio in Marble Arch, looking very exhausted, but I make it, and I break most of the traffic lights on my bike, not in a car. And I believe they're going to get very strict over here shortly. So whatever chance I have of coming home to Dublin, I think I would be put in jail immediately. I came into Dublin this afternoon, and I'm met by 3 police cars out just on the roundabout coming out of the airport, and go, what are they doing at 6 o'clock in the afternoon? They're out to get us. So no, I think Dublin has to calm down a bit, yeah.
Your fashion shows at London Fashion Week are famous. You've done great shows, but are they a very tough audience? Are they very tough shows to do?
Are the London audience tough? They are they're very demanding, and they want quick satisfaction. Don't we all nowadays? But they really are. So it has to be done in a very quick, exciting, new, and it's over in 10, 12 minutes. 40 garments, spent 3-4 months working on it, cost of over 50 grand plus, and there it is, 10 minutes satisfaction. And maybe not satisfaction, but you have to be there, you have to be on there. London is one of the big cities, London, Milan, New York, Paris. That's really it for the moment anyway.
So is it stressful?
Maybe Dublin, who knows?
But when you put a collection out of something like that, is that a very stressful thing to do then? To put your clothes out, you've only got a certain few minutes to do it, and then people say, oh, I like it or I don't.
Yeah. Well,
I would like that.
Well, number one, you're out there. It's like you, Miriam. If you don't appear, they go, who's Miriam? If I'm not out there, if Paul Costello isn't out there showing his collection, they aren't going to buy my set of teacups in Dunnes stores or my suit and honours. So it helps for the profile, and it's one time where I can express myself without worrying about the commercial side.
Right.
So for next spring, I hope you'll be able to attend. You were so kind to come to my winter show, and it's something very unusual, completely different to the winter collection.
Great. What do you think? You know the way there are people like Holly Willoughby in England, or even our own great Amy Huberman, who have their own lines, whether it's shoot
them all. They haven't suffered like I have. They didn't go to the Grafton Academy. Oh, quickie, fancy.
I like your honesty.
I know, and look at Victoria Beckham. She's probably got the best people behind her, and she's doing a great job. She still won't smile, so obviously she's still not happy. So just go back to singing, Victoria. You look happier. Only jesting.
What about, I know our researcher Alex was asking you, but you think Joan Burton is quite stylish, don't you? She was asking about what Irish women you think dress quite well.
I know, and it's the worst question you have to ask, because you're not going to win. So I picked Joan Burton, because you know what? She's trying. And I think she's got a great mind, but she's making an effort. I can see the difference over the last 12 months, and I wish her well. Good girl.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
Vote Labour.
I you do communion dresses as well, aren't you?
Yes, well, come on, Ireland and communion. God, it's crazy. Irish mothers and the communion. It's it's nearly like a second marriage, you know. But they would be smarter not to have a second marriage. I'll tell you that. From what I see that goes on in London, they end up marrying the same person again, just slightly different name.
But communion dresses.
Communion dresses, I just think that's charming. I love that the kids are gorgeous, you know. And I always get these cards. I got this wonderful letter from one of our customers in Dance to say, oh, she was so thrilled that her grandchild was wearing a Paul Costello designer dress. You know, they love the word designer, you know, and I just think it's charming and they're very well priced, and I just think I'm very fortunate.
Would you ever come back to live here?
When I become, I don't know. I probably, if I come back, I'd probably go to Donegal, bring my beautiful wife, and we'll just settle there and have a log cabin and 9 bean rows and a Haifa honeybee and call it a day. Yeah.
Well, look, thank you so much for flying over to be my guest tonight. Ladies and
Thank you,
gentlemen,
Miriam.
Paul Costello.